In 2020, our family made the life-changing move from the UK to Australia during a global pandemic. For the last 2 years, we've shown you our new life living down under and how we've attempted to assimilate into the Australian culture. But it's occurred to me that we've never really shared with you why we chose to completely change our lives by moving to the other side of the world. To start this story, we have to go back before 2020. Way back before we even made the move. Okay, maybe not that far back. But we have to go back to a 10-year-old version of me. 10-year-old me was lucky enough to visit some family friends and sample exactly what this beautiful country has to offer. Lucky me. I was hooked, absolutely smitten with the outdoor lifestyle, opportunities for kids. It was the first time that I'd actually sampled The Simpsons. It's safe to say that after a month of visiting various different people on the East Coast, I never wanted to leave. Oh, what's that? Okay. And then reality hits and a 10-year-old you is wondering how you're ever going to be able to return. The fact is, as a 10-year-old, you just can't return. It's far and really expensive for that couple of pounds a week pocket money that you have to save up for. Being the geek that I was, I decided to look up exactly what you needed to do to live in Australia. And back then, like now, it wasn't easy at all. You had to have a skill, a trade, or any kind of job that Australia needed in order to be let in. So I thought about it long and hard. Oh. Bad joke. And thought about what jobs Australia might need in 10 or 20 years time. I've wanted to be a dentist, a firey, in the military, a pilot. I've worked in hospitality, retail, IT, and finally set myself on a job that most people think they couldn't stand, a secondary school teacher. It turns out even now, not all types of teacher are actually needed in Australia. Chopping and changing your career choices isn't an easy thing. Learning new skills, starting from the bottom, especially when you're basing yourself at the mercy of the Australian immigration system and what they deem is a necessary skill shortage. The list changes all the time. If you're going to invest years of your life to train and gain experience in a career that Australia needs, you kind of want to know that it's going to be needed when you're ready to go. All of these career choices, along with life, start to weigh you down and you just continue in the moment, letting life slowly pass you by. This one's finished. Why did we move to Australia, man?
I just tagged along with you.
Okay, that's a bit awkward. We'll look at that later. But all of that doesn't change how you feel about moving to the land down under. I'm very fortunate to have grown up where I did and had the experiences that I've had. But living in a country for a long time helps you to see the not so glamorous side of actually living there. You start to see all of the problems and then you wonder to yourself, is there actually any more to life? You start to hit major age milestones, and with this little friend called social media, you begin to see other people living a life somewhere else that you want. That positive experience that you had as a child starts to reignite itself, and you start to think to yourself, shit, have I left it too late? For the record, I have never had a gap year to discover myself in the Far East and Australia. I was always told that university was far too important, and that the first year of university was kind of like a gap year anyway. If I'd come on a working holiday when I was 18, who knows? I might never have gone back. After university, I never went either. You're always told that getting a job is really important. Find yourself a career. Climb that ladder. You could be a leader someday. And for many, that's great, but at what cost? Sure, I've had some lovely holidays to some exotic places, but when you return back to the grind that doesn't afford you the life that you want, but could only afford you the brief holiday away each year that hides you from your more truthful existence, is that really living? All the while life goes on and those major age milestones start turning into major life milestones. You might meet someone, get married, have kids, all adding more extra responsibilities and obligations to your life. But that deep down lust for the land down under never really subsides. What has to happen in your life before you think, F it, I'm moving? Is it when you look at your career and realise how underpaid and undervalued you are compared to others in different parts of the world? Is it when you want to move house or live out on your own and you realise that you really can't afford to live in the place that you currently live? Is it when every day you spend more of your time wondering when you can do all of the things you want to do in your life but can't do right now because of things like the weather, the environment, and just life holding you back? Moving to Australia will tick many of those boxes. But as we already know in this life, you can't have everything. When one box is ticked, normally something else is taken away. You're going to have to leave friends, family, and everything else that's become so familiar. Remember that in-demand skills list that Australia has? Well, not everyone is on it. Only the chosen few can make that leap. And there's an age limit too. And all your time living life is slowly ticking away at your chances. Life is a roller coaster. Some people come to Australia on the ups. Everything is so good in their life that moving here just adds to the experience. Nothing could be better. For others, they might need to be on the down. They might have to experience some real hardship to inspire them to jump through all of the hoops that you need to do to move here, because they think that the grass is greener on the other side. They're prepared to trade the separation from their friends and family and their finances to seek something better for themselves, their partners, and their children. And for some, well, unfortunately, the journey just isn't enough. The grass actually isn't greener, and it turns out that what they left is actually better than what they now have. So why did we move to Australia then, Matt?
We moved for a better quality of life for us and the girls.
What do you think about our new life in Australia then?
It's good. It's going well. It's different. A lot to get used to, lots of differences, but we're getting there, I think.
Has it always been easy?
No, it's not easy. It's hard, but take each day as it comes. But the girls definitely kind of keep us going and keep us on our toes, and I think having them has been a big help for me. I don't think I would have coped so well without them.
What are the things that are better than what we had in the UK?
We've got a bigger house, we've got nicer cars, we've got a pool, better jobs with better money, quite a lot really.
So what do you miss the most about the UK?
Family obviously is a big thing. Apart from that, I would say I quite like the seasons back in England. I'm not a fan of the cold, and none of us are a fan of the coldness, but sometimes I crave one of those, frosty days with bright blue sky. And Christmas time, like for me, it doesn't feel Christmassy here because it's sunny all year round. You have barbecues all year round. There's no difference. And I quite like it that at Christmas time in England, you all get together with the family, you can go on a little pub crawl and snuggle up by the fire, and yeah, it's just very different. You've got to get used to it, but I don't know that I'll ever get used to it, but I can try.
If I'd have left it a year longer, I don't think I'd have qualified with enough points to have moved over here as a permanent resident. Maybe we could have still made the move here on a temporary or a sponsored visa, but that would have made the journey even harder with a young family and a trusting wife that allows you to chase your dreams that you've had since you were a 10-year-old boy. I never really knew if we could make a better life for ourselves in Australia. We moved to a city that we'd never been to, with no jobs, with only the possessions in our suitcases, and a small move cube that was somewhere out in the Indian Ocean. We knew what we had left behind, and we wondered if we could achieve the list of things that we knew we wanted. The reality we now know is that the list changes and adapts, which is what you need to do if you want to get the most out of this experience. Because that's what it is. If you like it, keep going, and you never know where it could lead you. But if you don't, then you can always go back. How are you going to feel when you're old and grey about the dreams that you never chased? I'm thankful that I have a wife like mine that lets us chase our dreams together. Do you want to change your life? Do you have a job on the skills list? I don't think we'd have ever made it to Australia without the help of a MARA registered agent like True Blue Migration Services. I spent 21 years of my life thinking about moving to Australia, and nothing ever really happened until I contacted someone to help me. Speak to True Blue Migration Services today and tell them we sent you for your free, no obligation assessment to see if you can make your dreams come true for you and your family. All their details are available down in the description below. We changed our life by moving to Australia, and on the whole, I know we're better off for us and our 2 daughters. Had we not acted when we did and received the specialist help that we got, then maybe we wouldn't be here right now. If you want to see what our life is like in Australia, then make sure to subscribe. And if you want to see if your job is in demand right now, then watch this video. Don't wait. See you soon.